Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Ever spend a fortune fixing a problem only for your neighbor to immediately make it worse? That's where today's story kicks off. You can't prove this is private property. Challenge accepted, neighbor. We spent a chunk of our savings installing a brand new driveway at our home last month. It wasn't cheap, but it felt necessary. Our street had turned into a personal showroom for our neighbor's collection of sporty little boy toy cars, 4 of them to be exact, and the guy had turned street parking into a daily war zone. He'd play this bizarre game of strategic parking, constantly shuffling his cars like chess pieces to block out everyone else. We were done with it. So we bit the bullet, hired a contractor, and got a proper, generous 3-car driveway put in. Our little piece of peace, right? Wrong. Not even a week later, we came home to find his car parked on our brand new driveway. Like bold as brass, wheels turned in like he was claiming it. At first we thought maybe it was a mistake, maybe he got confused. Nope, he outright refused to move it, claiming we had no proof the space was private and that if we touched his car, he'd sue us for damages. The police, completely useless, said it was a civil matter. He even started playing a sick little game with us. When he wanted to use the car on our driveway, he'd move it just long enough to slide in a different one. That way, every time we tried to fight it, it was technically a new incident. According to the solicitor, this kind of vehicle swapping can make formal action incredibly tedious. I was losing sleep over it. My partner was pregnant and stressed. We were both sick of staring at his smug little bumper parked in our face. I seriously considered installing a bollard right behind his car to trap him in or swinging a baseball bat at the whole situation. But I'm not trying to get arrested. I wanted justice, not charges. Eventually, I reached out to the housing association. A woman came by to mediate. Neighbor Karen, yes, it's always a Karen, acted like she had no idea who the car belonged to. Just fluttered her lashes and shrugged, "Oh, I thought it was someone visiting." Classic. That was the end of that conversation. The housing association lost interest. They wouldn't even look at my camera phone footage, and the car stayed there like a big middle finger every time we came home. But then karma blinked. One afternoon, my partner came back from her antenna class. The car was gone. For once, she didn't hesitate. She immediately pulled onto the driveway and claimed the spot like a boss. Not 30 seconds later, he came strutting up and had the gall to ask her to move so she could just squeeze in. She just rolled up the window and parked with authority. That same day, we had a mate come by with his wife's car to fill out the rest of the driveway. 3 cars, full lockdown. Since then, we haven't moved them. We scheduled remote-controlled bollards to be installed that Thursday. We also installed several CCTV cameras. Most of them aren't connected to anything yet, but he doesn't know that. One's recording to my laptop, though. That's our ace in the hole. And the cherry on top, after the neighbor realized we weren't budging, he tried to start parking across the sidewalk instead. I reported him through the city's parking violation portal every single time. A few weeks and a stack of fines later, I noticed 2 of his sports cars were suddenly missing, either sold or tucked away somewhere else. He clearly got the message. My partner even ran into Karen outside, who mumbled an apology about his behavior, but conveniently forgot how she lied to the housing association's face. We just smiled politely and walked on. Now we park comfortably every day. The bollards are up, the driveway's secure, and the neighbor hasn't dared step on it since. What was once a battlefield is now a driveway fortress, and it only took a mix of luck, persistence, and a whole lot of righteous pettiness. So yeah, if you're ever battling a car-hoarding Karen, play the long game. Just make sure you win. The only thing that could have made it better, if the bollards had accidentally, trapped his car once. But the real win was him backing down entirely. And our second story. Entitled football fan treats my driveway like it's his private parking spot. I live near the Etihad football stadium, and anyone who knows the area knows what that means. Match days bring chaos, crowded streets, shouting fans, blocked traffic, and worst of all, people treating nearby houses like public car parks. But out of all that mess, one thing in particular has been driving me mad. There's this one man, same car, same guy, every time who parks on my driveway. Not just near it or beside it, on it, like it's his own personal reserved space. He's been doing this for almost a year now. Every few days when there's a game without fail, he drives up, parks like he owns the place, and walks off without a word. And here's the part that gets me. We don't even use that part of the driveway much. We've got a proper parking space right in front of the house, so the side ramp rarely sees use. But that doesn't mean it's fair game for strangers. It's not about convenience, it's about respect. It's about boundaries. It feels way too personal having someone roll right up to my property and park there like it's nothing. No knock on the door, no hope it's okay, just take and walk away. At first, I tried to ignore it, told myself maybe he didn't realize it was private. Maybe he thought it was community parking or some weird zoning issue I hadn't noticed. But it kept happening, over and over again, and it's always him. Same car, same face. I started feeling uneasy every time match day came around. I'd check the window, heart racing slightly, just waiting to see if he'd pull up again. Spoiler alert, he always did. I eventually decided to try and stop it. Today, I placed my bins at the edge of the driveway, lining them up just enough to make it obvious the space was blocked. I felt a little silly doing it, but also hopeful. Maybe this would finally send the message. Nope. He moved them, just pushed the bins aside like they were nothing and parked anyway. I heard the sound from inside, Ben scraping across the pavement, the hum of his engine cutting out, and I opened the front door to look, and there he was, climbing out of his car, completely ignoring the fact that he just bulldozed over my very clear attempt to say no. I made eye contact with him. For a moment, he looked at me like he expected me to say something, and I wanted to. I really did. But I couldn't. I froze, and then I went back inside. I know how that sounds. I should have said something, anything. I should have stood up for myself. But the thing is, I have a bit of trauma from a past incident at this house, something that made me hyper-aware of who's near the property and how close they get. When someone crosses a line like that, literally parks on my property, it triggers that fear all over again. My brain goes into overdrive. What if he gets aggressive? What if he starts yelling? What if he doesn't leave? It's not rational, I know, but trauma doesn't play by rational rules. I hate how this makes me feel, anxious, powerless, violated. It's not just a car on concrete, it's someone acting like my boundaries don't matter. And when I can't even bring myself to confront him about it, it feels like I'm failing to protect my space. My friends say I should call a tow truck or leave a note or report him, and I've thought about it, I really have. But the idea of confrontation still makes my stomach twist. I guess I'm just venting here because I need to get it out. It's exhausting living with that creeping sense of dread every few days. It's my home. I should feel safe here. I shouldn't have to stare out the window, bracing for some stranger to roll up and act like it's theirs. Maybe next time I'll find the strength to say something. Or maybe I'll call someone to help me. But for now, I'm just tired and really sick of seeing that guy's car on my damn driveway. And our last story. The Cabin That Ate Karen. I'm Brad Reeves, an indie game designer who traded the noise of Portland cafes for my grandfather's cabin in the forests of Oregon. Out here, it's just my pines, my satellite internet, and not a single HOA rule in sight. Or at least that's how it was, until the president of the neighboring homeowners association, Pamela Dixon, decided her power extended beyond her borders. Pamela was infamous for harassing people, causing drama, and screeching like a lunatic until homeowners gave up and moved away. I stayed under the radar until I started getting notices for illegal wood stacking, firewood, in a forest. I burned the notices in my stove. Symbolic and warm. The main event happened on a quiet May morning. I was on a Zoom call presenting a federal education contract to Audrey Grant from the Department of Education, showcasing a game where kids learn fractions by assembling virtual robots. Big deal. Camera on, mic on, prototype running, then bang, 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 someone pounding on my door. Open the damn door, a woman barks. I'm in an interview, come back later, I shout and mute my mic. I don't give a damn about your Zoom, you psycho freak. I unmute to get back to Audrey, but then, shattering glass, Pamela crawling through my bathroom window, into frame jumps a tall woman in a gray suit and heels, lunging for my laptop. You're running an illegal business. Hand over the device before I confiscate the evidence. Pam, this is my house. Get out now. Shut up. You're violating Section 7, you idiot. On the other side of the screen, Audrey squints. Mr. Reeves, shall I call the police? Yeah, I think it's time, I say, and hit my hotkey to start recording. One stream for the presentation, one for the unhinged intruder. Pamela rampages around the room, tossing my design documents in the air like confetti. I'll burn your shack down. I'll shut down your clown startup. Another knock. This time it's the cops. Turns out Mrs. Alvarez, my neighbor, saw some lunatic crawling through a window and called 911. Officer Jerome Lee walks in. He knew my granddad, Ethan, personally, and remembers me from when I was a kid. County police, freeze. Pamela tries to bolt for the window, but Jerome grabs her arm. Pam, what the hell are you doing? This is my jurisdiction. He's a psycho freak. Your jurisdiction ends at the HOA sign. This is private property. I hand him the laptop. I've got the recording. Audrey nods from Zoom. You've got the testimony of a federal official, Mr. Reeves. A couple weeks before this mess, I'd hired attorney Nate Boyle to prove once and for all that Grandpa's land was not part of the HOA. Nate brought in surveyors, dug up a map from the 1950s, and found a surprise. My granddad also owned a strip of land inside the HOA, complete with a road, a gazebo, and half the neighborhood playground. 10% of Pine Meadow was suddenly mine. Nate sent me the scans. If you want to have some fun, announce it at their next meeting. I just smiled. I'll wait for the right moment. That moment came when Pamela got out on bail and called an emergency HOA meeting in the church hall. I walked in last, blueprint tube under my arm. What the hell are you doing here, Forest Goblin? She shrieked. Brought something fun to share. I rolled out the map. Here's the boundary of my land, and here's the road and the playground. That's mine now, too. The crowd buzzed. Pamela went pale. Fake! I'll sue you! Nate stood up. Documents certified by the county archive. Want a trial? You'll get one. I leaned on the podium. Starting today, anyone using that road does so with my permission. Fee, just a symbolic $1 per year. For now. But leadership? That's under review. You'll destroy our community, you psycho freak! No, Pam, I'm just following property law. Learn from your own example. At the trial for unlawful entry, the court saw the Zoom footage, Officer Lee's testimony, and Audrey's federal statement. The judge said plainly, 2 years in prison, 10-year ban on holding leadership roles in nonprofits. Pamela howled, I'll be back! I'll rip you all apart! Jerome clicked the cuffs. That's enough screaming, ma'am. I gave a little bow. Game over. Now I've got the federal contract, an expanded studio, and quiet evenings under my rustling trees. The HOA maintains the road, my road, under my terms. Mrs. Alvarez brings me pie, and kids in schools blast fractions into Lego robots I designed. And whenever the wind howls through the pines just so, like someone shrieking psycho freak, I just pull my headphones on tighter and smile. The final boss was speedrun fair and square on camera. Sometimes the real boss is not the one who shouts the loudest, but the one who really keeps everything under control. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.